Howdy. Testing, 1, 2. Okay. Looks like things are all turning up Millhouse. Alright. Just a couple more things here to straighten out and we'll be ready to go. How the hell y'all been? Alright. Alright, let's see if I can't get this thing a-rolling. Oh, looks like I gotta fix a few things. Give me a second here. Let's see now. Studio mode. There we go. That looks a little bit better. All right. All right. And there should be the game audio. That should be nice and quiet for you guys. All right. All right. Howdy, everybody. My name's Solomon Savage. And we're going to be playing a little bit of Satisfactory today. I'll do a little bit of updating on what's been going on for the last week and a half or so. Man. What has it fucked up? I'm serious. I should probably watch it with the language. But anyway. For the starters, on Saturday morning, woke up around noon, feeling voice crack, feeling pretty crappy. My stomach was turning. I could feel my gorge rising. I haven't actually, screamed into the void in over a decade, and I was pretty happy with that fact until it came time for me to do exactly that about 30 minutes later. And I was doing it on average about every 2 hours or so, even if there wasn't anything to scream about, proverbially. For those of you that are kind of squeamish about that sort of thing, I understand, and I'll try to keep it as obsequious as I can. Anyway, I ended up missing 2 days out of my 3-day work week, which, of course, I don't have any vacation time for, so that's going to hurt come Friday. But in any case, I'm feeling a lot better. There for those couple of days, like I said, screaming into the void, and I couldn't hold anything down, so I was weak as a kitten. My blood sugar was like way down. About the only thing that I could actually hold down for any period of time were salty pretzels and a little bit of water. My entire stomach was like a tight knot, a fist, if you will. And to be honest, I don't think I have felt the sensation of hunger ever since then. I've felt I'm having difficulty finding the word. I just didn't feel hungry anymore. And honestly, that part of this whole episode has been about the only boon that I have received from this thing, is that I no longer am driven by hunger. I don't recommend food poisoning to anybody. It is a sorry, sad state of affairs, and it takes far longer to recover than you would initially think. But I am feeling better, though. Like I said, I haven't actually experienced any sensation of hunger ever since then, which has allowed me to finally take command of my dietary situation. So I'm eating meals at a regular time now, as opposed to, whenever my mouth felt lonely. You know how people have an oral fixation. That's why some people claim that they have a hard time quitting smoking. Whether that is true or not is, different for every individual. So I'm not in a position to, ascertain whether that's true. I know it was true for my wife when she quit smoking. I myself have never smoked a day in my life. I tried cigarettes once or twice, and it triggered massive allergic reactions for me, and I've always had trouble around cigarette smoke and other kinds of smoke that were of the addictive kind, recreational kind. Even vapes, even vapes didn't haven't sat well for me, and my wife used to vape for a while there as a smoking cessation sort of method. But in any case, back to what I was talking about. So yeah, I don't snack as much as I used to, which is good because I have been having trouble with reducing the amount of weight on me. Now, that's important for a couple of reasons. One, I am a very tall guy. I am over 200 centimeters tall, about 6'6" in imperial scale. So that's great, and I could reach a lot of places. But bending and getting down in the low spaces is difficult. Reaching under shelves is difficult, even with elongated arms. You have to kind of contort yourself, and simple tasks can become more difficult simply because of my size, because there's just more of me that's in the way. And then on top of that, I have my poor eating habits, which have caused my body weight to increase too. So I have been struggling over the last several months to get myself under 300 pounds. Now, it doesn't show a lot on a guy of my size. I do have a spare tire. I do have a noticeable gut, but just barely noticeable. It's very deceptive. And of course, there's the amount of jiggle that goes to your rear end. I mean, that's always welcome. I mean, who doesn't like a big dumpy? But in any case, it's been hard on my joints, and I already suffer from arthritis, and I'm in the 35 plus crowd, so that's really not helping my situation any, especially since I'm a physical laborer as my stock in trade. I know my preferred industry is one of a Pathfinder, but that doesn't really pay a lot unless I actually find something, or if somebody is willing to sponsor my expeditions. So that's few and far between. So I have to manage to support myself in other ways, and I have been doing that for the last 25 years with doing logistics work inside of warehouses and things like that. Basically moving things from one place to another, organizing things in a way that's easier for us to transport. I've done everything from receiving to shipping, so even inventory control has been inside of my purview. So those are things that I do on on a fairly regular basis, and I've gotten kind of good at it. It's not something that I ever saw myself doing as, a permanent vocation. I've been wanting to do pathfinding for a long time professionally, but honestly, I'm mostly an amateur in that because only professionals get paid. And that's the difference between amateurs and professionals is that you get paid, right? So I sustain myself in the normal 9 to 5 just like anybody else. Adversity is not exactly a place that is brimming with opportunities at the moment. And there are reasons for that. And they're complex. They're not simple as some people would have you believe. Because any system that involves people are as complex and as varied as the individuals inside of it. So even if it's a fairly simple setup, just the fact that you have people inside of it makes things extremely complicated. Taxes are complicated, for example. Property laws, traffic laws, they all become extraordinarily complex when you just factor in that you're policing people and not machines that only deviate when they are either constructed improperly or they have something that has faulted. Now, I don't know what that says about us as a society, but I would prefer a diverse society than to one that was homogenous. Just saying, that's my personal preference. And as much freedom as that you can give people that they can actually be responsible with, that's the kind of society that I want to live in. And one that holds people accountable for when they do some pretty heinous BS. Now, I know the US has had an election the last couple of weeks, and things have not turned out as people have expected. Now, some people have been very happy about this turn of events, but a lot of them are coming up with the realization that things are not what they appear to be or that they had hoped that they would be. I wish everybody the best of luck. If you've been having issues and having a hard time with the results of this election, my heart goes out to you. And I hope things don't get bad. Indications say that they probably will. And the only thing I can do for you is say, hey, I'm here to listen, but don't be dumping on chat, okay? It's enough to say that you've been having a hard time, and I can give you my condolences, but that's about as far as it can go. Because I really can't give you any substantive help. I can just commiserate with you and put myself in your shoes and try to see things from your perspective as to why it is that you're having a bad time. And I've been needing that myself for the past few days, too. So don't get me wrong, I am in the exact same position. It's going to be rough for a while. I don't want to... See, I'm struggling here because I simultaneously don't want to get political or specific because I know people hate that. But also, ignoring the situation doesn't make it any better. So, we're going to struggle for a while. And things are going to be difficult. And there are going to be some things that probably will come up that nobody is really a big fan of. All I can say is that, well, we tried to warn you, but this is how it turned out anyway. Nobody expected it to turn out this way. I don't think anyone really wanted it to turn out this way. And those that did are going to find out that things aren't going to go the way that they thought. There's a part of me that wants to point and laugh at those folks for doing as they have done. But I don't think that really solves anything. So I'm just going to stand here, nod my head, and I'm going to go about my business. Anyway, enough of that depressing shit. Let's get on with this. So tonight's just going to be a pretty casual night. I've pretty much said all of the more subdued things that was in my heart to say at the moment. If I have anything more specific that comes up, I guess we can revisit that at some point. But I pretty much said everything I'm going to say on that subject. So if you were tuning out because of political discourse, then, you know, this is your opportunity to say, hey, well, it's over. So what I have done here is I've been playing offline for quite a bit, and I think I've accumulated somewhere in the neighborhood of another 40 hours or so organizing some new supply lines and resources. So as you can see, I've got a few train stations that are kind of hovering above my base. I wish that there was a more what is the word I'm looking for? Visually pleasing way of doing this. But just having these elevated train platforms allows us to bypass a lot of the topography, and it helps us get more directly from point A to point B. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And as I'm going to show you here, the spaghetti is going to get real quick. All right. So this is my former Caterium factory, and it's still a Caterium factory. I've expanded the supply lines here. As you can see, got a whole bunch of these guys just sitting idle because the reservoir that I've got these guys dumping into is currently full. I see a few of them coming back online here because the sorting system here, these mergers, as they're called, they're actually called mergers, have been collecting all of the stuff here. Now we've got a separate line of other constructions going on over here. Now this is for making high-speed connectors. As you can see, they're idle currently because, hey, we got a backlog. Splendid. Let's give me a few of those so I can put them in storage and have one to keep. So do I have any high-speed connectors in here? Oh, I already got 400, so I'll just put these back. I'll keep one stack. That should be more than enough. Okay, looks like I'm low on a few other things too. I've been very busy constructing things. I've got a little bit of a depot going on over here. Yes, over here, on this side. Now, I've got a supply line for all clad sheets, which I need for the Tier 5 conveyor systems. I'm going to take 4 stacks of these. I've also got 4 stacks of the cement encased industrial beams. I need those for the Tier 4 conveyors. And then I got a smattering of other parts in here. I have way more AI limiters than I actually need. And honestly, I should probably void those into a smart awesome sink. Awesome sink. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Awesome sink. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another container here. I'm going to rotate it this way. I'm going to add a conveyor. Actually, wait. Give me a second. Let me map this real quick. I'll put a splitter here. No, a merger. Put a merger here. Line it up. Put the conveyor lift here, and then connect there. Now I'm going to put some of these AI limiters in here. I'm going to keep one stack. Now these are going to feed into my awesome sink, and they're going to give me tickets. As you can see, I already got one coupon. Oh, that's right. So another part of the renovations I did is that I modified my copper line over here so that I can get more cables out of it. And I also increased the output on these coils right here so that I could have a supply that I could pull from when I need them, which is right now. I now have 2 stacks of cables, which is vitally necessary. I've got another 400 in my dimension storage, but what I like to do is I like to make sure that I have enough inventory to take care of most things. Now, if I need to go over, it saves me from having to make a trip to come back. But refilling my inventory every single time, whenever I run short on something, it takes a while. And as you can see, I've also got some radio control units, some computers, and some supercomputers that I've been busy building, as well as the AI units and the high-speed connectors. Which means that I also came up and made a factory for oscillators. These crystal oscillators are very slow to build. Without any overclocking, it takes a minute to produce one in a single factory. It takes a very long time. Fortunately, the recipes that require them are not all that stringent when it comes to how many they require to get the construction going. And those also are taking an excessively long time here. As you can see, that without overclocking, making 2 radio control units takes 48 seconds. And you can get another half of a control unit done by the time that a full minute rolls by. I've been trying to make as many parts as I can in as little time as possible, but also without overloading my lines so that I have to wait for parts to show up. And that has been a struggle. A little bit of aqua there. So what I've done here is that I've essentially gone through and I have made my supply lines backwards from the end result that I want to achieve. So that's why this line, the line that's making the radio control units, is closer to my resources here than my oscillator line is, because I wanted to make sure that I had enough space for the end result first, and then if I needed to expand my factory to include all of the different parts and things that I needed over here, if I needed to manufacture more parts out of other parts, then I could do that. How are you guys doing on cables? Are you getting fed enough? You are not getting fed enough. I need to make even more cables. Now the question is, have I completely utilized all of my mining resources here? My miner Mark II. No, I don't think I have. So let's go ahead and overclock this as far as we can get. If you're worried that I'm going to run out of overclockers, don't. Because power shards. I've got 206 that are laying in wait, and I got more power slugs that I've collected that I haven't turned into power shards yet. Now, I've also been using Sumer sloops to increase the output of some of my factories. I have especially used them over here in my Caterium factory so that I can make sure that I have enough resources to deliver to the factories that I'm using. Manufactories, the assemblers, all of that. So, as you can see, I'm using super sloops here to produce twice as many high-speed connectors as I would normally be. So, 3.25 is what this would produce if I were at normal speed. So, here you see 375. So 3 3/4. There we go. Really? Yeah, 3. Okay, yeah, that math's out. 3 3/4. I should learn to read. Okay, so part of my problem with my cables is that I've got the line fairly well split here. I've got originally this was just to feed these factories down here, and it was more than enough. But now I need to expand my copper lines so that I can make sure that I'm supplying enough stuff over here and I'm getting enough cables. So let's actually do some quick calculations. The cables are going in over here to these two. And is it only those two, or am I getting them elsewhere too? No. No, it looks like those two factories from my high-speed connectors are the only ones that are down here. So these are requiring 37.5 cables per minute. Each operation takes 10 cables, and each operation lasts 10 seconds. As you can see, we're not moving fast because we've already got an ample supply of high-speed connectors that are in our system, and it's backstuffed. So these guys are going to be idle. They're going to be filling up with cables. So 37.5 times 2, that's 5. Carry the 1. 55? No. 65? No. It's got to be in the 70s. Yeah, 75. I'm going with 75. That's my number. Now, we're also using cables over here in this line, making my oscillators. And I need 35 cables per minute, and I have 4 factories over here. So 35 times 2 is 70, times 4 is 140. Add to the 75 that we've got, that's 185? I think. Yeah, 185. And now we're just going to do some quick counting over here. So I've got currently 3 assemblers that are making cables, and they're making them at 30 cables a minute. 30 cables a minute. So that's just 90. That's half, not even half of what I need, like 45% of what I need. So I'm going to need to make at least 4 more of these. That's 4 times 3, that's 12. No? No, I'm going to need to make more than that. So we're currently at 90. So 120, 150, 180. Yeah, 4. 210. And we'll be back stuffing. So I'll need to make 4 more copper lines over here. Now that we've got additional supplies coming in from over here, I'm going to add a splitter to this connector right here. I'm going to clear this belt out. I'm going to add a splitter here, add it to the bottom of the conveyor, and let's set this up at, I think a tier 4 is what I'm going to need because it's pumping out at 300. Is it 300? 300 per minute. And your standard tier 4 conveyor belt Mark IV, you know, conveyor belt 4, 480 resources per minute, and the Mark III tops that at 270. So we're going to have a little bit of an overlap there. So I want to make sure that I get as many resources out of the miner as I can without losing any efficiency. So 480 is what we're going to need. As you can see, it's distributing minerals up here at a fast pace. That's very nice. It's keeping up with all of our smelteries. Smelteries, yes. So I'm going to add some more deck plating over here. I'm going to take some of these panels off so that I can do that more effectively and have some resources to do that. And I'm going to take off these plates here. And then I'm just going to add some more plates. Oh, right. Soup, please. Now, I already have this thing built at a maximum of 10. Zoop maxes out at 10 plates, so that's what we're going to do. Okay. Now, the width on these assemblers is going to be how far apart that we can have our lines spaced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 assemblers right next to each other, and then I'm going to line up 4 smelteries behind them so that I can feed into them at a rapid pace. Each assembler is going to have 1 smeltery behind it that's going to be doing the entire operation. It's going to be nice, tight, and efficient. So I'm going to make sure this is turned the proper way. Remember, the orange side is where stuff goes in. Green side is the stuff where it comes out. Now, unfortunately, I cannot zoop structures. I wish I could. I should probably see about getting the mod package back in here, the mod management system for Satisfactory. Find my words here in a second. And then I can do that more efficiently. Now, Smart has a feature where you can like copy whole sets of what you've done, much like the blueprint system in the game has. As a matter of fact, I should probably set up a blueprint recorder around here somewhere. That way I can just build from blueprints instead of doing it manually. But you know what? I find doing it the manual way very satisfying. I guess it's in the name, isn't it? So let's go ahead and set up some splitters up here. I'm going to feed this from the left, of course. I'm going to set this right up near the edge, just like I've got all of these other conveyor splitters here. And I'm going to put 1 splitter with the inbound side pointing straight out, another one doing the same right here, and I'm going to turn this one to receive from the one on the left. See how that works? So I'm going to be running tier 1 conveyors into the machine because that's all they really need. And it's just simple iron plates. That's doing all of that work for us. I'm going to have the conveyors lifting them up be Mark IIs. Alright, I have that near ground level. There's no real need for that. If I don't want it to be, I can actually have it higher. And it really won't affect anything, really. As a matter of fact, it will keep my lines off the ground and make them more symmetrical. I think I will do that instead. So I'll just have it hanging off the edge here. I'll do the same over here. And I'm going to put some splitters connected onto these with the inbound side on the left. And these guys are just going to pass down from one to another and pull as much as a tier 2 conveyor can pull, which is 180 units. And the tier 1s can move 60. So you can see it's starting of a geometrical progression here. That kind of breaks after tier 3. I think 480 is more than no, actually that is double. That is double of 240. So I'll go ahead and have this conveyor coming out here. These guys are tier 4 conveyors. So these guys are pulling out. What do we got here? Is it? Okay, this is tier 3 lift right here. But it's feeding 2 sets of machines here, all by itself. So there's this set over here on the left, and there's this set here on the right. So that's pulling about half that speed out. So I'll go ahead and put a tier 3 on the bottom here. Now you can see that the conveyor doesn't like that. So what I'm going to do... How to solve this? What I can do is I can rotate this so it behaves a little better. Okay, I could do this too. It's not very visually compelling. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that either. Don't like that. Nope. And then it won't do that. It won't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another conveyor here, a conveyor lift. I'm going to turn it to the right so it outputs in that direction, and then I'm going to have it follow along the line here. So make this a tier 3, attach it to the wall. Have it feed in here. I'm going to have this come out this side as a tier 2 belt. So what's doing is that it's splitting essentially the volume that's coming in the left in half. So this is coming in at 270. It is 270, right? Huh. Maybe it does break down. So what it's doing is that this 270 here, or is it 240? The 240, I'm assuming, from this tier 3 line, is going to be split into two 120 lines. So you see it's literally dividing that volume in half, because this is only pulling up 120 and this is only pulling up 120, and they got 240 to pull from. So this line is going to go continuously as long as the smelteries are not being overstuffed. Now I'm going to go ahead and set these up for copper. I'm going to copy and paste this on all of our new smelters. And then I'm going to set these guys up to do more wire. Now, I could have an alternate recipe that uses iron instead of copper, but that's less efficient. So in 24 seconds, this can make a spool of wire, 9 spools of wire. Well, let's just do the math on that. So you can see it does 2.25 wires per minute. The standard recipe, which uses copper, makes 30 wire. And it makes 2 wire out of every copper ingot. So you see the difference here? So therein lies the difference. This is much more efficient than the other recipe. So whenever possible, I always try to use the most efficient recipe that I have unlocked currently. Now, these guys are going to have tier 1 conveyors running between them. It's going to be a 1-to-1 thing, I think. Okay, 30 ingots and 15. So also I'm going to extend this top row up here so I can split my lines. That's why I'm having so much space in between here. As you can see, I've got conveyors on that side that's lifting up half of the copper produced by my smelteries onto another floor to be punched into wire there. Now this helps to utilize all of the resources that we have here. Otherwise, I would have one smelter providing the 2 units here on the ground. But I'm going to go a little bit overboard, and I'm going to overproduce so that I can get more cables faster, and I always have a supply, and it's always backstuffed, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and lay more platforms up here. Actually, let me just run it out to the end here. Because once you lay out one line, it's just as easy to just swipe along behind it with the zoop and do it that way. Okay, let's go ahead and get these factories going. I got my power lines here. Let's go ahead and add some power to this equation. You guys are without power, so I'm going to put a main trunk here and a main trunk here. Now, what I mean by trunks is I'm going to be dividing this so that it takes two machines here, and then it passes on the line to the next one. And this one is going to go all the way to the end, and it's going to go up to this next line of machines, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to put one here, I'm going to put another one here. So this, and this can be connected, and then I'm going to put another one right here in between these two. There, and there. See? Very uniform, very neat. It looks like spaghetti, but it isn't. It's very organized. So you can see I've already got these factories going. Everything's starting to get busy. That's great. So let's go ahead and copy what's happening with this constructor and paste it here, and here, and here. Just to make sure that we've got everything that we need. Now, I just picked up some ingots, which I did not want, so I'm just going to put this right back where I found it. And I'm going to feed this smeltery here with this ore that I've got, so I don't have to throw it away. So that's just a little bit less draw on our mining operation here. As you can see, everything's nice and backstuffed. Everything's moving at a steady pace. The machines up front are still getting filled up, so I'm not going to overspend on ingots. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to put splitters on these lines so I can have conveyor lifts going up to the next floor. I'm going to lay them in a straight line between each other. And then I'm going to run tier 1 conveyor lifts, I should say, through the floor and upward, turn to the right. Why to the right? Because they turn to the right at the bottom. And I want the factories on the top, the assemblers, to line up exactly where I want them. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So all of these conveyor lifts are going to be on the left, poking to the floor and facing to the right. All right. Now, I'm going to pull up the assembly map. Okay. Now, these guys are aligned one square away from the front of this particular line right here. As you see, I have a little bit of collision going on there. And they are centered like so. So that the entire assembler fits within one square like that. See? Nice, efficient, and symmetrical. You can see how the boxes line up. Very nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect the conveyors with tier 1s. Look how neat and regular that looks. And because I set up this electrical line on the corner, I can fish this up here, like so. Put a pole here. Connect up these two. And then I'll connect up these two. I'm just going to Control V from last time because these... Oh. It does not remember. Okay. So, copy. And Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. All right. Everything's working. Very good. All right. Now, in front of each of these sets of assemblers, I'm going to put another assembler. Just like over here. Now, these assemblers are turning the wires into cables. It requires 60 wire a minute, and they produce 30 cables apiece. And as you can see, each of these assemblers is making 30 wire apiece. You see what I'm doing here? Okay. So each set vertically from this one and this one is going to be making 60 wires for me so that I can make 30 cables, was it? Pretty sure it's 20 cables actually, but in any case, that's what we're doing. So we're going to make sure that we set up a line over here. We're going to line all these guys up vertically. So the assemblers I've got over there, they're just built right on the edge of this plate line right here. So I'm going to start putting assemblers in these spots. What's going on with this cable? Do I really need it? I kind of do, but I kind of don't want it running like that. I probably want to run a different line to that power supply. Actually, I already have. Right? You are not connected to Jack Diddly Squat. Let's go ahead and connect you up over here. Let's delete that line right there, because it is obstructing my view. I don't need it there. You guys are getting plenty of power from that setup right over there. Perfect. Okay. Alright, more assemblers. Right up in front of this line right here. So I'm going to use my guides, my bounding boxes, to set these guys up in a nice straight line so that my input side is aimed back at the previous line of assemblers. Perfect. Alright. So now I'm going to set these guys up to make cables. Copy and paste. Alright. Now I'm going to run tier 2 conveyors across the bottom here. Why tier 2? You'll see in just a second. Okay. Now comes the fun part. We're going to put mergers on these lines here. I'll put them right about here-ish. Get them nice and lined up with each other. Make sure that they're sitting on the line. You have to park the mergers on the line to get it to slide like this, right? Now you can have it off the line, but then it's really snapping to the plate down below it. It's not going to touch that conveyor at all. So you can build mergers and splitters on existing conveyors, which is a great, great help. Now I'm going to do exactly like I did on the back line. I'm going to have the vertical conveyors, tier 1s, coming down on this side. I'm going to have it facing its partner over here. Okay, everybody's at the same elevation, and then we're just going to put a tier 1 conveyor here to connect up to the vertical conveyors. Look at how clean that looks. That is clean. Now, because I'm snapping to the grid, I should be able to put a conveyor hole underneath these guys. Let's see how well I do that. As you can see, I would have had to have put the conveyor hole in there first, really. Unless I could do it from the bottom. Can I do it from the bottom? It looks like it lines up properly. It is not lined up properly. Okay. Let's do that again. That is if I want this looking copacetic. That looks about right. Now, I'm merely doing this for aesthetic reasons. I don't really care if these holes are actually here. They still function regardless. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm not saying you have to. But I'm only spending a few resources here, and it just makes it look a whole lot neater. Because it just kind of looks a little jank if you don't. These guys are off-center. These guys are correct, but these are not. So I'm going to have to get rid of those. Give me a second. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? You're not snapped to the grid, are you? Ah, that must be it. Well, I guess it's just going to look piss poor over here. Oh well. I hate it. What can you do? It's because the conveyor holes snap to the grid. And I can't get it to do it any way else except that way. It's either too far left or too far right. I can't get it anywhere that's a happy space in between. I guess that's my fault for placing the conveyors like that. At least the splitters. That's the one hazard of doing it like this. Okay. So now I need to run power to this. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put one here. Connect it up with those two. Connect to the next one in line. There. Now we should be supplying parts in plenty. Alright. $20, $30. No, it's 30 cables. I thought it was 20. Okay. So now we need to set up some more mergers. Alright. So, we start from the left. Now, the way that mergers work is that they have 3 input sides and 1 output side. Splitters are the exact opposite. You have 1 input side and 3 output sides. So, we're going to just have one feeding into the next here, right? Now that's going to put more of a pressure on this end over here because it's going to be moving the fastest. But what we can do to alleviate that is by sorting our conveyors according to speed. Now, these guys are outputting at 30 cables a minute. These conveyors that they're on can move up to 60 per minute. So these two conveyors connected together will be enough to fill up a Mark 1 conveyor. Now, 2 Mark 1 conveyors that are full can add together to be 1 Tier 2 conveyor. So this is actually 60 at this conveyor and 90 at this conveyor right here. This splitter right here. This merger right here. So these 2 mergers added up to 60. This adds up to 90. This adds up to 120. So we can actually have all 3 of these coming out on a Tier 2 line if I wanted to. But I also want to make this as clean as possible with as little spillover as can possibly be helped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bend in the line here, make it nice and straight, and I'm going to send it that way. Another neat thing you can do with conveyors is that you can raise and lower them permanently. Now, depending on how long they are, will severely impact how high they'll let you go. You can see them at their maximum tolerances, but as you can see, this one's highlighted in red, so it's not going to be able to be built because it says the conveyor is too steep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this direction. I'll put another merger, hopefully here. No? Alright. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say screw it. I'm going to take all of this back, get rid of this conveyor pole. I'm going to put in that conveyor pole too. And I'm going to put another merger right here in line with this. So that's outputting towards this container. To Tier 4 belts here. So I'm having 2 Tier 3 belts merge into this line here. So I'm going to connect this up so that it'll spill its guts into the container there. And then fill that line. Now, I'm going to do another Tier 3 line over here, like I did before. Turn it to the right. There's that connector line. Okay, nice and straight. Thank you. And I'm just going to plug it in there. Now, 2 tier 3 lines will merge together in a tier 4 line that's very short that goes right here into the container. That's great, because we got a tier 4 line that's coming out this side, right? No, it's a tier 5. Okay. So we're actually outputting more than we're actually putting in. But as you can see, our efforts have actually borne fruit. We're actually producing just over half more. Actually, another 1.5 times 1.2, 1.3. Repeating. Yeah. So we've just barely over doubled what we were producing before. And now we're just pumping it in over here on this side. Isn't that spectacular? Okay. Now, we can have our merger set up like this, and it keeps everything from backflowing. And yeah, we can do it this way, and also keep it from getting plugged up too much. I may just go ahead and upgrade this second conveyor to a level 2. This one to a tier 3. And this one to a tier 4. Just so that it has a better chance of clearing out its backlog. So see, everybody's pumping out everything at full speed. Nobody's stopping. These guys are going at 100% efficiency here. Now, these cables can stack up to 200. As you can see here in my inventory, I can stack up over to 200, which is great. That's what we want to happen. I'm going to go ahead and refill my inventory here, because I just used a whole bunch of cable, and I also used a whole bunch of wire. So let's go ahead and get more wire. And let's fill that up. There. Alright. So now we've got more supply going into the machine here. As you can see, we're actually building up a little bit of an extra supply here. So we have done our job very well. So now we're supplying ample amount of cables to this system right here. So this conveyor split going up here from this tier 5 is splitting off into 2 tier 4 two tier 4 conveyors. I'll learn how to speak English in a minute, goddammit. And these tier 4s are splitting off into tier 2s. But that's only because these guys are only needing so much. Now, I could divide this in half. I really could. But my effort here was to make sure that I wasn't getting too greedy. Now, as you can see, there's a tier 2 conveyor coming off this line and a tier 2 conveyor coming off this line. So I have another... Let's see now. That's the equivalent of 1 tier 3. So if I were to spike off of this right here with a tier 3 and have it going at full speed, this line would not stop. And we would not overpull. You see what I'm going with here? So if I wanted to expand this system out to the left here just a little bit more, I could do that. I could very well do that. And I might at some point in the future if I were to desire it. But as of right now, not so much. Excuse me for a moment. Oh, one more. Excuse me. Ah, much better. Get myself a drink. And also blow my nose. Whew. My throat is still a bit raw. I'm still having some sinus problems. Not too unexpected given the time of year that it is. I really don't like how close this is. This is just a little bit too close for my liking. But you know what? It works. It works, and this is what I needed to do here. Oh, and if you're wondering why I'm able to fly around like this, I have got a electric hover pack that connects up to my power grid that's nearby. You can see a little shocks of electricity coming out of the nearest pole to me and transferring power to my hover pack. And I can go quite a ways as long as I can stay close to power. And as you can see, I've got a power line going up the side here, so it extends my range. Wherever there is a power grid, I can go. Which means I can also build a power grid as I go in order to keep flying along. Now, I have some very distant connections to my power network over long distances, and I set up these poles at almost the maximum distance that you can go. So if I were to fly between these guys and not have any other power source nearby, I'd lose flight. You see, power's dipping down, but it goes right back up as soon as I come within range of something. So I'm going to go over here. You can see my power's getting lower and lower, and now it's cutting out. I can glide to the ground so that I don't die, or I can just let myself drop. But if I were to like jump off this conveyor line here, parkour! I could jump off here, but no matter how much I'm holding down on the shift key, I will not... I'm sorry, it's space bar. As long as I'm holding down the space bar, I'm still not going to get any flight until I come back within range of a power pole. And I will not be able to just drift gently down to the ground. So if you're stuck in like a canyon situation where you're like jumping off a canyon side, don't land on any platforms where you could conceivably fall from and die from the drop. Don't do that. You'll kill yourself, and then you'll have to backtrack, and you'll have to collect your BS back. Don't do that. All right. That's enough of that tutorial. What am I low on currently? Let's see now. I got plenty of plates. I could probably use another refill of the cases. Let's sort here. Okay, I need more plates. Iron plates. I could use a little bit more of these reinforced plates. Some more beams, some more pipes. Doing great on the rolled copper. Everything else seems to be doing just fine. Some more concrete. Okay, I can do all of that and more. I didn't use any of these. Didn't use any of these. Oh, that's right. I should be worrying about my next milestone, which is nuclear power. This will be relatively simple. So all I have to do... All I have to do is fly in this direction and go and collect some of the stuff that I need from that plant all the way over there. This is another thing that I worked up to make these versatile frameworks, which I'm going to need for one of the next phases. The objective for phase 4. I think it's for... Let's see now. This is an engine. This is something else. That's probably wiring. That's probably wiring too. This is cubes. So I'm betting it's this one. Or this one. I don't know which one has these currently, and I don't think I have the technology unlocked yet. So I'm trying to get the rest of the tier 9, I think. Tier 8. Tier 8. Let's say tier 8. Milestone technology unlocked. Then I'll be able to make some of those. But I'm also going to need to start investing in nuclear power. Why, you ask? Because as it's one of the harder forms of technology to interface with, because it has so many, and I mean so many difficult properties that I have to deal with all at the same time. And also, to be quite frank, it doesn't allow for a lot of leeway when it comes to making sure you stay safe. Because, as you know, uranium is deadly in this game. Excuse me. I need to take another drink. Much better. Okay. So I need a whole bunch of concrete for this. I need a whole bunch of cables. Surprise, surprise. That's why we're working on the cables too. So I can have a little bit of a supply so I can fuel my technology cravings. I need some more of these reinforced cubes here. And I also need some supercomputers, which I already have. So I've taken care of the concrete here. I've gotten 2,000 of concrete. I've got enough to hold me over for construction purposes later. Still need more cables, and I still need some more of these. So I'm running out of space here. I'm going to go ahead and run back to my hub. Which, for those of you with canny eyes, have noticed that I have shifted somewhat because I built some train stations over top of it from where it was previously positioned, and that didn't look great to me, so I decided to move it over. Now, granted, these train stations are very much giant eyesores. Those of you who know how to decorate stuff and make sure that it looks copacetic, I'm sure you're pulling your hair out at this very moment. And I am terribly sorry, but also not sorry. So let's go ahead and feed in our supercomputers. Feed in all this concrete. Okay, great. Now I got some space in here. Sort this up. Very good. I also have some technology from the MAM to research. That's why I've got some extra radio control units on me. I should also grab a couple of stacks of oscillators now that I've got a back amount. Why are you red? Why are you red? You're not receiving power, are you? You're not receiving power. That's why. To where? Oh. That's not supposed to be there. Give me a second here. It's nice that they added these lights to all of these guys early on while they were still in the early access, so that we can tell what status everything's in. If they're green, they're producing and they're ready to produce. They're getting everything that they need. Yellow means that they're waiting on something, crafting. Yeah, everything's coming up, Millhouse. Hey, where was I? Oh, yes. I need the heavy units. So these guys are being manufactured all the way over here. If I go to the back end on the top, I believe, that is where I've got a nice, convenient storage facility that's full of these guys. So as they're being manufactured, they're just pouring into here. That's great. That's exactly the way I want it. Toss this. Don't need that many. I can also... I can drop these off. I need 1,000 cables, and that's 5 stacks. So I'm going to need to make some more spaces in my inventory. So I'll be back later. I really shouldn't be clearing my throat. It only makes things worse. It may only end up being a short stream tonight. My voice is getting far more fatigued than I want it to be. But we've been going for just over an hour now. I am not going to cut out just yet. I want to get at least 2 hours in here. Alright, let's get these frames in here. Very good. Alright. Now let's get some more cables. Alright. Alright, so we've got... Alright, looks like we should be able to get just enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, there we go. That's 1,000. I'll come back in a little bit and I'll refill as I need to. I could also get a couple more out of these machines over here, but that would just put even a little bit more strain on my system. Yeah, why not? So I don't have to do it later. Perfect. Stay busy. Make more things. Alright. And... ta-da! Nuclear technology is now ours.
Milestone reached. The nuclear power plant produces dangerous radioactive nuclear waste. Fix-It reminds you that any extra limbs resulting from exposure to radiation are also contracted to work on project assembly. Fix-It also reminds you that willful exposure to radiation will not result in any bonuses regardless of how many functional limbs it produces. Project part number 7, the magnetic field generator, should enter production as soon as possible. Any unnecessary delays will be noted.
Whew. Well, that was a whole lot of spaghetti. Okay, let's take a look at our production and see what's new. Okay, so I've also unlocked this this machine here, the blender. That's going to be pretty keen when we go ahead and make smokeless gunpowder, which is going to be a nice weapon upgrade for us. Then we got this resource well and extractor for getting gases and water out of the ground in specific locations. I can show you a couple of them on the map as we go forward. This will be good for getting nitrogen and things like that, which will be useful in making, I think aluminum production is what that was a part of. Let's see now. Let's go to power. Okay, so I also have this geothermal generator, which I unlocked through the MAM, the nuclear power plant, as well as the alien augment. Ooh. Now, I'm going to need more sewer sloops to make this, but this seems like a very worthwhile endeavor right here. I should probably go ahead and look into doing that. As well as putting some power storage units on my grid somewhere so that I can start storing up some power. Because I haven't done that yet, and that has been a... let's just say that that's a blunder on my part. So you're the one that's making all the racket. Shoo! Go on, get! I should probably keep it down. The wife's trying to sleep. Ah, you're stopped because you're delivering shit. That's good. Keep delivering shit. That's good. That's very good. Alright. Yeah. Alright. That should start delivering parts back into that. Very good, very good. Excellent. You know, I probably could have caught a... I should probably catch the train next time it comes through here. So I can take you guys elsewhere and show you all of those other things that I needed to do. Where's the train now? It's probably all the way down there. Up there it is. It's coming. Unless that's... Yeah, that's going all the way over there. That's one of my aluminum plants all the way over there. And there's a quartz mine that's over there, and that's what they're delivering. Now there's another aluminum resource that's somewhere in that direction as well. Just so's you knows. I should probably also, while I'm here, pick another milestone. It's going to be another 10 minutes before that pod comes back and we can make another delivery. And in that time, I can also do some research on the map. I'm almost done with research for the map. Now, this milestone is going to require some more supercomputers, some steel pipes, and some fused modular frames. Now this... I remember this being a particular pain in my backside. But it's necessary so we can make this thermal propulsion rocket for the Phase 4 turn-ins. Now, I only need 250 of them. But like I said, they're a pain in the ass to make. Just to get that far. But I also get the Miner Mark III, which is going to make a lot of my supply lines a lot more efficient. It's going to vastly increase the amount of stuff that I can get even out of the poorest of deposits. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but not all resource holes are made the same. Take, for instance, this miner right here, which is attached to a limestone deposit. Now, this guy is outputting 60 a minute. At tier 1, it would only be producing 30. This is a very poor limestone deposit. Now, the reason it's not running is because I've already got a whole bunch of limestone in here that's been turned into concrete. And it's already full, so I don't need it producing anything more. Maybe at some point in the future, I'll need this concrete for something, and I'll scale up my operations over here, and it'll be outputting all day long, all night long. But not right now. This is much as I left it when I first started this particular save. So I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. But yeah, when I get the tier 3 miner, that one will be outputting 90 resources instead of 60. So it's like half again. I'm not sure if it doubles it, but I think it just increases it by another increment of 30. At least on the low tier cases. So if a normal one would be outputting at 60 out of tier 1, and a pure node would be outputting at 120 on a tier 1. You follow what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and unlock this milestone here, or get set for this milestone right here. Now, as you can see, the particle enrichment factory, it requires all of these things here, which I do not have access to yet. Actually, I should have technology that I have access to, but as you can see, it requires turbo motors, which comes from the previous reward right here. But particle enrichment, it does not come with an inventory increase. So I'm going to go ahead and do this milestone right here. It's going to be a stepping stone that we need to make the next one. Now, the pod hasn't come back yet. It'll be here in another 7.25 minutes. That's great. But I can't deposit anything in here even if I had it. So let's do some MAM research. Let's see now. I got alien technology that's left. I don't think there's anything that I have that I can research here just yet. I need whatever this is, a singularity cell. I could probably research one of these two guys right here. I'd need more of those materials right there, the SAM fluctuators. So I'm gonna skip that for now. Let's look at cat stuff. Okay, for cats, I can get the tier 3 poles. I'm going to start that research.
Power Pole Mark III unlocked. It has significantly more power connections compared to the previous models.
And a do too. Alright, so that's pretty much for it for Caterium. I can't do much about this until I can make some rifle ammo, and I need smokeless powder to do that. So let's look at power slugs. That also requires something that I don't have research for yet, time crystal. Quartz. This requires oscillators and nobelisks, which I've got. I got oscillators for this, oscillators, motors, and scanners. To enable scannable hard drive. Okay, I definitely want this now. Now that I've got oscillators, that's definitely something I want. And I also want this radar technology. So let's see now, it's going to be 50, 150, 160, 165. So 165 oscillators. Do I have that many in storage? Mayhaps I do. Hey, look at that. And just like that, I have 200. Let's take another stack just for shits and giggles. Alright. That's oscillators that I have. What else did it require? I'm going to need to get rid of one of my scanners. Scanners. Object scanner. Now, I'm pretty sure I have one on my inventory bar. No, I do not. I do not have one on my inventory bar. I lied. I probably have an extra detonator. That's what I have. So I'm going to need to make another scanner. So I'm going to put this back. Alright. Scanner, scanner. Let's make one. It's a simple craft. Okay. Scanner done. What else did I need? Quartz. I need nobelisks. I got the frames there for that. Motors. Am I out of motors? Okay. Well, I know where I can get motors. And I can craft a whole bunch of nobelisks. Even if I don't want to. Train overhead just finished up. That's nice. Hey, I've been at this for 4 hours. Oh yeah, by the way, I was playing this for a little bit before you guys arrived. Don't get mad, y'all. Like I said, I put in like something in the neighborhood of 40 to 80 hours before y'all even got here. Done run out of room. Crap. I know what I can do. There. Put some of them oscillators in storage. Prepare yourself for electric speed. Oh yeah, I also got this boombox. Got some good tunes.
Explorer unlocked. This personnel transport vehicle facilitates rapid traversal of difficult terrain and climbs like a mountain goat that has returned from extinction.
And then there's the radio signal scanning.
Object scanner magnetic sensitivity increased. It can now detect the signal of any hard drives at crash sites in your region.
That's going to be useful for looking up new recipes. Oh! I run out of power. Oh no. Looks like I got a little overzealous. Now there's some fluctuations going on. There must be some clogging on my fuel line somewhere. I don't like how that's spiking. Anyway, I'll let it continue to do its thing. Alright, what do I need for this? Alright, radio tower.
Radar tower unlocked. The tower reveals resource nodes and other useful information on the map in a set radius from its location.
Okay. So, radio towers are kind of neat. Radar's back, that's nice. Okay. I'm going to have to go to a couple of my power generators to see what's up. Now, I know I could fly on these things, but like I said, I have them spaced pretty far apart. So, and actually, grabbing a hold of the cables here, if I can actually grab a hold of the cable, thank you. It's a little height sensitive. And using my jetpack at the same time, highly effective. Nice of you to show up. I have noticed that some resources like the power slugs and everything else has a respawn rate now, which they didn't used to have. They used to just be permanent fixtures. Alright, how you doing? Okay. So we're back stuff on oil. That's good to know. Very good, very good. You are having a hard time keeping up, aren't you? Alright, we're actually doing great on crude. I don't know what the holdup is. Okay. You guys are full on fuel. You're idle. Why are you idle? Alright, we're just not producing enough fuel over here. Because we're not producing enough heavy oil residue, are we? Ah, great. Because we're not using enough of the plastic over here. I see now. Okay. Because we're not producing enough resources over here, it's creating a backlog. Okay. So, I hate to put an extra burden on the system, but it's actually going to make things better. Okay. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up with a awesome sink. Probably need to make 2 awesome sinks. Maybe 3. Okay. Let's start with 2. Screw it. They're cheap and efficient. They don't require that much power, right? I don't even know if they... No, they do require power. Alright. Neat thing is they're not going to kick on unless I actually need them to. Unless they're actually eating something. Okay. Sinks ahoy. Got all of these rubber plants over here that are not producing anything. Let's go ahead and put a smart splitter on here. Alright. Right output. Overflow. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so we're going to kick the power back on. We're going to help jog this thing until it conveys enough power. Let's go ahead and cut these guys off. That may have just been a little bit too much strain. We only got the one. Alright. Looks like we're going to have to rework some power around here. Looks like we're going to need to go down the line a little bit. I gotta be careful. Which way? Let's just follow the track, shall we? Alright, good thing I still got these ladders. I would have just taken the tube, but as you can tell, we got no power. All right. See, the thing is that even though I've got the power supply system over here, I'm not making enough. I haven't been making enough, I should say, of the heavy oil extract to make any more fuel for those power plants over there. Which is kind of why I had initially a sink over the, pardon me, to catch the overflow of plastic. But I had it set up on the standard splitter because I didn't have the smart one unlocked yet. Now, as you can see with the smart splitter, you can set it up to do just about anything that you want it to do. You can have it let anything through a specific part, and you can tell it which way to go, especially overflow. So if there's anything that's in the line behind the splitter, it'll just send stuff down the overflow line if the main branch that it's attached to doesn't have any product flowing through it. Now, I'm a little bit distracted. I have a cat in my lap, and she'd been taking a nap, and she almost flopped completely out of it. She's a sweet little cutie patootie, and I love you. I love you, Patches. I do. You might actually be able to hear her snoring. I don't know. It's very, very cute. She's our little wheezy cat. She makes all kinds of noises that normal cats don't make. But I think that just makes her more endearing. That's just me. Maybe that's just me. Oh, crap. Okay, I stuck the landing. Parkour! Now, let's see if I still got a ladder over here. Nope, but I can build one. Second floor, lingerie. One more. Thank you. Wahoo. All right. Now you guys, you do have fuel. Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple more plants on this. I'll put a couple more plants on this. Power 8. All right. Face this way, genius. There. All right. Good. All right. That one's a little bit off center, but I had to make accommodations for that rock face there. I don't like it. It goes against my sensibilities, but that's what I gotta do. All right, we'll put a splitter here. All right, and then tier 2 connector, tier 1 pipeline, go. Now we just need to extend our power lines back here. You're full. Let's make you bigger. Alright, let's see if we can turn it on now. It's got fuel in it. That's good news. So let's just go ahead and extend it just a little bit further. Oh my goodness, baby. What's the matter? You're a wheezy baby. Alright, took a little damage on that one. I would build further on the right, but this one's blocked off too. Do I go ahead and make another one? I really don't want to do that. You know what? I'm being a dingus. Let's just have these guys use a little bit more fuel and produce more power. How about that? Okay. Now you make 650 watts instead of 250. 625, I should say. That should help. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of these slugs, these power shards. That should help immensely. Okay. Excellent. That's what I wanted to see. And I can fly again. Good, good, good. Don't fall. Don't fall, sweetie. No falling. Sweet little baby, don't fall. Don't fall. Now, if I were worried about there not being enough of an output here, I could also add some super slips to double whatever this is producing. I can't do that on my power supplies, my fuel generators here, but I could do that with my oil refineries. Now, as you can see, this stuff's making polymer resin, and that's what's feeding into this little guy over here. Now, I could be making something with this. I could. And as a matter of fact, in the future, I actually might. But I don't care. As a matter of fact, I got it making plastic over here, so that I'm using to package up fuel and split it off into this container here and into a tour here, into a dimensional depot right here. Now I also had it filtering up to this train station up here, but then I installed that down there, and that's just kind of seemed redundant. I just have this train station here as a, just in case I actually do want to ship something from this location in the future. Do I have any more fuel in this? I bet I do. Sure. I sure do. Let's go ahead and put that Mercer sphere in the tank there. I need to go looking for some more of those, along with some more super sloops. Yeah. Damn, my throat is raw. Okay, I think I might just call it here. It's been nice talking with you guys again. Nice getting some things off my chest. Hanging out. It's nice. Nice catchy tunes. I like it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go back. I'm curious. Yeah, you guys are already overclocked. I thought I already had. Whoop. What's going on there, baby? You okay? Ooh, slugs. That one's guarded. All right. Didn't know this guy was going to be down here, but you know what? Good catch. All right. Now let's build a platform and get climbing. Where is that other one? Right up there by the waterfall, right? Oop. All right. Platform. All right. Still got a ways to go. Okay, back on the ladder. All right, that's good. Ah, ladder. Why are you being so difficult? What is that? Actually, why not leave this here? Alright. Down, ladder. Into the water. I almost died. Alright. Ran out of ammo. Looks like I'll be slapping him from now on. Alright. That was neat. Let's get somewhere safe. Whoop. A little bit of fun and excitement before we ended. Alright. Let's see now. Let's change the tape. So here's all the different tracks that we can choose from. Oh, additionally, if I were to get surrounded, I could also press the right mouse button and do this. Little knockback feature. Little bass explosion. It's kind of fun. Now let's go over here and fix this BS before I go. Whee! Alright, that should help stabilize my oil production over here. As you see, a nice little backstuffing of this stuff going on. I should probably tear this up. There, that's nice. I'll bet that net is a nice little amount there. A couple of tickets. I should probably do the same with the plastic. Let's go ahead and hook that back up now that we got the power to spare. Alright. Let's put a smart splitter on these two lines here. Alright, smart splitter. I need to program these first. Right output. Overflow. Right output. Overflow. Cool. As you can see, everything's flowing through just fine. Nothing's coming through on the sides here. But as soon as the line backs up, you know, either when like the train stops or something like that, then everything that gets stuck in the line behind these conveyor splitters will be shunted out onto these little excess tracks, and that'll prevent our factories, our refineries over here from backstuffing. And they'll continue constantly to produce heavy oil residue at their maximum rate and capacity, which is great. That's what we want. That's what we want to happen. Because we need that heavy oil residue to make go juice down here. As you can tell, it's taking a little time for the residue to get down here from the top, and that's to be expected. So it's going to be starting and stopping a little bit, and that's kind of what's causing a little bit of disruption in our fuel supply. I should take a couple of my super sloops out and put them in these guys so that they'll output twice as much. Just to make sure that make sure I have enough fuel supply going on here. Now this guy, he should not be stopping at all. He's full. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple in here and double his output. So he's making 160 fuel per minute instead of just 80. I don't know why he's getting all of the good. But that should help set us up with a nice ample buffer. All of these guys should be operating 24/7. See, he's got plenty of fuel. He's got plenty of fuel now. He's back stuffed on fuel. So is he. Our reservoir should be filling up nice. Yeah. We're about 1/6 of the way to the top here. With more fuel on the way. And you see, this thing's got a super sloop in there, and it's just pumping out all kinds of bullshit. I like it. I love it. Very nice visual design. I really, really like it. Alright. Well, that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. You guys have been nice. Nice to be back. I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll do something else. Probably going to play Final Fantasy. I keep saying I'm going to play Final Fantasy on Fridays. I haven't been getting around to it. I really need to finish that game before it loses all sorts of relevancy. But in any case, I hope you guys had fun. I had fun. It's been a blast. It's nice to be back. Any case, I'm rambling. I should cut it off here. Say goodnight, everybody. And whatever time of day it is, I hope you had a good one. Till next time, see you later, cowboy. Bye.